Hi everyone! So I'm here today with another personal story time. So this is the second story time video I've made, and I was just really inspired by this passage that I read out of one of my new favorite books that was written by Bubzbeauty. And it's A Beautiful Mind, A Beautiful Life, the Bubz Guide to Being Unstoppable. And it's written by Lindy. I'm sure everyone knows who she is. So in this book on page 116, she writes, "There was a time in my life when I hated the sight of my nose. I had plenty of other body insecurities growing up too, but it was my nose that bothered me the most." She said, "I used to believe my mother that if I pinched my nose daily, it would magically reshape it to be higher. I even bought something known as a nose huggy on eBay." And then let's skip ahead a little bit. "I'm ashamed to say that I spent hours looking in the mirror, studying the feature that was holding me back. Holding me back from what? The nose is bang in the center of the face, so it's always going to be the focal point, right? I would cover my nose with my hand and decide I looked so much better when it was covered up. For years I have been so self-conscious about my nose that when I smiled, I would even remind myself not to smile too big, otherwise my nose would look even wider. For a while I even photoshopped my nose badly in many of my photos." Now, maybe for you, like, this passage is just a normal part of the book if you read it. But for me, this one really pulled out my heartstrings, and I'm gonna try my best not to cry, but I actually have the same problem as Lindy, but as she wanted to make her nose higher, I actually really struggled with my nose and wanting it to be smaller, lower, less out there, and I can completely understand where she's coming from. "I wanted to get rhinoplasty so badly for so long, and I was not only made fun of for my nose in elementary school, in middle school, and in high school, but it also followed me into university. And you guys will probably say, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's not that high. Oh, it's not that big." But I know what other people have told me, and I know how much it hurt. And in elementary school, people would say things to me like, "Oh, don't worry, one day you'll grow into your nose." Or, "It's okay, you're just like Dumbo, except it's your nose." Things like that. And it carried on and it carried on. And I got really self-conscious of myself. And every time I took photos, I would try to only take it from the front, never let anybody take photos of me from the side profile. And in all of my photos, I would turn up the brightness so much that it would erase my nose completely, or just completely white it out. And even my mom noticed this, and she said, "Why do your pictures look like anime characters? All I see are big eyes and no nose and a mouth." So yeah, I think the thing that hurt me the most was when I was in college. I thought all of this was behind me, and at the college I went to, I had no connections. I knew nobody. It was 100% a fresh start for me. And so I really tried to take advantage of that. And I tried wearing makeup every day for the first time in my life. And I tried doing my hair every day for the first time in my life. And I tried wearing fashionable clothes every day, even though I was super poor. Super poor. I tried looking for hunts, like I would get emails that there was a sale at Forever 21 and I would go pick up a cute dress for like $3. I was really good at finding those sales. And then our school was partnered with a school from Korea, and the one thing that's a little bit different about Western culture and the culture in the East is in places like China or Korea, people believe that they're helping you if they point out something that you could improve on. So for example, in America, you can't really say, oh, you've gained weight, or oh, your skin isn't very good, or oh, you're kind of short, or oh, your nose is big. But in Asia, it's perfectly acceptable because they are a culture about wanting you to like help improve yourself, and they genuinely care about you, even though it may come off as rude in the Western world. So suddenly, after making really good friends with some of them, they said some things that were a little bit hurtful only because they wanted to help. And so they would joke around with me and say, wow, you look so much like a turtle. How do you walk around like that with your nose sticking so far out? And then they would make up songs about me being Pinocchio and things like that. And so the point of all of this, what I want to say is, I'm really shocked and kind of surprised that someone with what I thought to be perfect Asian nose, small, cute, low, just wrote in her book that she believed that it was her worst feature. Because for the longest time, I really struggled with my big nose. And I just want to say, be careful what you say to people. Especially in a time when you see them happiest. Because one comment that you might make, like calling someone Pinocchio, might bother them for the rest of their life. And for me, I even considered plastic surgery. Sometimes I still do now. Can you imagine words hurting someone so much that they would want to get plastic surgery? Because they believe that your comments are valid. So all I really want to say is, no matter who you are, whether you have a too low of a nose, too high of a nose, maybe that's just you. And things come in all different shapes and sizes. We should try to embrace that more. And if you're a girl like me, and you've heard some mean comments like that, I think it's important to let those people know that that did hurt you and that it wasn't okay. Don't just laugh it off and keep going. Let them know, or the chain will never stop. I think it's very brave that Lindy opened up about that experience in her life, and although I'm trying not to cry, I'm trying to be brave as well to tell mine. Just because I have the opposite nose as her, but we both got made fun of for it. So no matter who you are, There will always be someone. So it's better to just be yourself. Because if we all had the same nose, that would be pretty strange, right? Anyway, I'm gonna end this talk here. But just think about that. Maybe we should be different. And maybe we should let people know how we feel when they say something to us or about us. And maybe we should love ourselves. Because now that I'm looking back, when you look back at the pictures before, you think, wow, I was really pretty at that time. Even if at that time you had no self-confidence, you were still beautiful. And you are so beautiful now. So thank you, and I'll see you again next time in our next heart-to-heart story time. Bye.